Heidi ho, Heidi ho. So, message for today. You know, the more research and studying and meditating I do to kill out the ego of the beast, the lower ego, and to try to strive for something higher, it's kind of disheartening to see certain things. And you get to a point where you want to see people do better and wake up. And it breaks your heart to see the world so wicked. So, all the things that are going on around the world, it has to do with our own evil inclination. So these bodies, the husk, in Hebrew is called the klipa, the husk, like a banana has a husk, an apple has its outer layer, a nut has a husk around it to get to the fruit. Anyway, that's us. We're the seed of life. Each and every one of us, our first name is Adam. Those who have a soul. Our first name is Adam. Our last name is Adama. And it's a kick in the face when you come to the realization how you've been fooled. But it's better to realize you've been fooled than to be a fool, to continue to go on being a fool. So that Social Security trust account is just that. It's a trust account. You don't have to use that trust account. Let me repeat that. You don't have to use that trust account. And it's against the law for somebody to compel you to use it. If you tell somebody you don't wish to use that trust account for identification, you don't have to use that trust account. So the bankers, the creditors, control the world. And when you use that trust account, you become a slave because you're selling yourself to the bankers. You're giving up your liberty for a little peace and security. So anyway, recently I saw a man with a vest on and a badge and a body cam, and he's got some footage on there talking about going after the Epstein class. Well, son, I hate to break your farting heart, but that's who you're getting your paycheck from. Let me repeat what I just said. That is who you are being compensated from, the Epstein class. Man, that's a kick in the balls when you hear that. So anyway, when you use what other men created, it goes back to the Tower of Babel. Let's create a name for ourselves, and this land shall be Elohim to us. It's segregation, separation, seeing the differences, which is okay to see differences in hue of our brothers and sisters. Some of us are, like myself, I'm more attracted to a darker hue of a woman. But it's not to say that I'm not attracted to lighter hues. So anyway, when you realize that Social Security trust account is what makes you pay taxes. So when you use it, you become an employee. You sold yourself to the creditors. That's an EIN, an employee identification number. That's your first EIN. So you're receiving from the banksters. So when I exchange my labor to somebody else, I want compensated for my labor. I don't want to give it to a trust account. It's not to say that I don't want to help others, because I love helping others. I have my entire life. I've done things for people my entire life. And it's not to gloat. It's just who I am. I have always done for others. Even though I was shit on by my own family because I'm the black sheep, I still, in my heart, love other people and try to do for others. And it's discerning when I see people that are still so indoctrinated they don't realize. Let's go after the Epstein class. Well, to go after the Epstein class, just quit playing their game. Quit accepting compensation from them. Quit giving them a portion of your labor. Hold everything that belongs to you, which is your sweat equity. So when you fill out a document, if somebody compels you to fill out a document, at the very top put, without prejudice, UCC 1-38. Use God's calendar, which is the Hebrew calendar. The year begins in Nisan, which is in spring, which is also during Pesach, Passover. All these things count. You should be following the holy days, not holidays of the bankers. They're bankers' holidays. They tell you that straight out. So anyway, you fill out a document, RFD, Rural Free Delivery. The address goes in brackets. RFD is telling anybody that knows the law that you live on the land. You don't have to put a zip code, 00000 for a zip code. Social Security number, 0000000, because you don't have one, you don't need one, you don't have to use one. It is against the law for a man to compel you to use it, but it is also against the law once you have expressed your religious belief not to use that number for identification. It is against the law for somebody to deny you employment simply because that's against your religious belief. You don't have to use anything created with the Gregorian calendar, which is also Julius Caesar's calendar. You're rendering under Caesar what's due Caesar because you want to live in Caesar's creation. You want to live in the banker's creation. Every war is a postal war. I don't know if they still do it, but they used to put a $1 stamp on the head of a freaking bomb and earmail it from one place to another. There's a lot of wisdom if you actually look for it. Studying the laws is very important. But ultimately, the law comes down to whose law you're following, man's law or our Abba's law, what some know as God. But anyway, going after the Epstein class. Well, you can't go after the Epstein class if you're going to continue to be a dumbass and pay them with your sweat equity. That's where they get their interest. So when they say it's in our best interest or it's in the interest of the United States, they're literally talking about banking. And the United States is a Title 28 corporation. It's a business, and it's a for-profit business. So that's the message for today. God bless.